2 years ago, I said that the North Championship was my greatest ever achievement in professional wrestling. The last great thing that Leon Slater will ever achieve. By the end of that night, it wasn't.
The boy wonder has grown, and I've grown into a king.
They wanna count me out. Next time pick a higher number. Next time should run for cover. Next time let the Giants slumber.
Coach said it himself.
I know this company better than anybody else, and this company, North Wrestling, needs Leon Slater on top.
With you at the top, we hold the helm.
Without me, this whole ship goes down.
I'm here to protect our legacy.
We run this place. This belt hasn't seen a non-Slater hand in 2 years plus.
I've beaten every single one of your shiny new toys.
Leon, when you faced me in December, let's face it, you'd written me off before the bell had even rung. But what happened when I had your shoulders pinned to the mat for 3? You needed Coach Slater out there, didn't you? Captain PE kit.
You think I've made an easy decision, Gene? You think I've stood behind to be a cheerleader because that's the easy thing to do?
Do you remember what it's like to hold the North Championship?
I think about that every single day.
You carried this company on your back so you could pass the torch to your greatest achievement.
None of this has been easy. Do you think you can hold this championship? Do you think that you can represent everything that North is? I'd like to see you try.
Gene, the people love you, just like they used to love me.
You are a fun little side attraction.
But now you find yourself where you don't want to be. You find yourself in a Slater compound. The Thunderstruck main event against the boy, against the YIC, and you, my friend, are out of your ass claw league.
Leon, you can't keep this dog down.
I'm built unique, I'm better than the hard times I've seen. Crime scene, obscene, face the ugly, cover up like Maybelline. Had a certainty and urgency, cut from me like surgery. Formed again more sturdily, personally. I don't see nobody stopping me. I don't see nobody topping me. I don't see nobody honestly. I run you over if that's what it's gotta be. And it's gotta be what I look like, having fear still haunt me. What I look like, having regrets haunt me. Pay that price, I don't care what it cost me. All my life, big me against the army. I'ma push the red button on them like Atari. I'm big dog with a humor like a Maltese. See more fall off the 03 tall tees. Not sorry for the way I am. Learn to ball them up with no one holding your hand. Never back down, never hide in the sand. If you ain't hear the message, let me say it again. Yo, let me say it again. I survived.
On the biggest stage in North Wrestling, the stage where I shine the brightest.
After far too long, Gene Money ends the Slater supremacy.
I'll prove to you both, to everybody, exactly who the real Leon Slater is.
I put the dog down for good.
Once and for all, Gene Money walks out best in show North champion.
I survived.
Welcome to a very special episode of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. This is a bonus episode, if you like, where we are going to be talking about another indie wrestling promotion that we are so proud to be welcoming onto the podcast. We have with us the faithful, myself, Dan, we have Mike, we have Lucy, we have Andy, who you all know and love, and also we have the promoter and management. Apologies for the butchering of the titles there, but we have Andrew from North Championship Wrestling. Welcome, Andrew.
Nice to see you guys. Thank you very much for having us on. Management sounds a little stuffy, doesn't it? I don't want to be called management.
It does a bit. It sounds a bit official. It didn't feel right saying it.
Founder and general mad scientist behind everything.
The brains, the big cheese.
Well, you know what it is? I think as we've grown, I've brought more brains in, and then they can do the clever stuff, and I'll just kind of I'll drive us in a direction, hoping that it's the best one.
Because you've been around, will it be 10 years next year?
Yeah. So we started in 2016. Yeah. So 10 years. I don't know where the hell that's gone. Less hair, bigger bags under my eyes, like definitely more grey hair as well. So it's what.
Well, it could be worse. me and Andy and one of our co-hosts Brett have lost all of our hair, so it could be worse.
Yeah, and my beard's slowly turning completely white. Like, this is not a shave, and this is literally 'cause it's white.
Yeah.
I feel like I've knocked Santa off the roof at some point, I think. And as we slowly get towards the last 6 months of Christmas now, I'm getting fatter and my beard's getting whiter.
Come and work with me at Centre Parks as Santa over Christmas. And although I do have the hair, I am a big Brandon Cutler fan, as you can tell, so I am bald adjacent.
There you go. Yeah. Fan of the balds. That's it.
Yes.
That's the one.
That's what you
Very
want.
much
exactly
so. Yeah, we don't like the bald bullying that goes on sometimes.
No,
And
we can't help
AEW,
being
we agree with
quality
Simon Miller, it's gone too far. It needs to stop.
It does need to stop. It's something that we can't help. And, some of us don't want to go over to Turkey. I just wouldn't want to do that with myself.
Do the MJF special and head to Turkey.
No, the amount of times I've been to the barbers, I know it sounds weird, but I do get the beard shaped like every now and then. Ooh. And they do say, "Have you ever thought about going to Turkey?" And I say, "Yes, I have. You don't need to give me the whole spiel. It's fine.
You've got
Thank you anyway."
It's a process, isn't it? Like, I've definitely thought about it. I'm going bald here, and it's something I've thought about. And then turned 40 last year, 41, well, this month.
You're still a baby.
And I'm like, who cares? I've got to that point where it's fine now, man.
I remember a few years ago, like, it's completely random, but we're on the subject of being bald. I remember a few years ago looking into Rogaine to see whether that was actually legit, and then I read that it kills cats. Like, apparently, if the contact with a cat can kill a cat, like, and we have cats, like, and it's like if they sleep on your pillow after you've been lying there with Rogaine all over your bed overnight, I don't fancy waking up and my cat's dead, like, so I'll settle for being bald.
Yeah, I mean, it's much easier. Like, I think that's it. Much easier.
I mean,
in and out the shower. Yeah,
great
in
power
out the
comes
shower.
great responsibility and great shampoo prices.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, it was a case I had to, because I kept getting called Ghost Rider when I used to have hair because it was so thin. It looked like my hair was like, it looked like smoke.
This is it.
I got tired of it, and I decided, all right, I'll be done with it. And I feel, do you know what? Less maintenance. It's fine. Showers are quicker. You know.
This is the shortest I've ever been, and it's liberating. Like, it's just like, and I think by this time
you're preparing.
I'll be gone. Just keep the beard.
Yeah, keep the beard. The beard's strong. You got a good beard, guys.
Yeah, that's a classic wrestling look. Yeah. Beard, bald. You just need black trunks, and you could be anybody. It'd be great.
I can't stand that type of wrestler. I gotta say, like, that's my least favorite type of wrestler. Is the hard man, like, bald, tribal tattoos, like black trunks.
Oh, no tribal here. I've actually got tattoos, but none of them are tribal. Yeah. So you
don't want the tribal tattoos.
As I said before on the podcast, if I actually grew my hair, I could grow it, but I would look like Terry Nutkins in the way it would grow. It really would, honestly. I'm glad someone actually. Every time I've said that, nobody knew who Terry Nutkins was. So.
Show my age, like he had like his finger bitten off, didn't he, as well? Like he had.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's a dark story. If you look into his history, his parents let him go and live with some millionaire in Scotland when he was like 12 or something. It's weird. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
And what, the millionaire bit his finger off?
Probably. I don't know.
You'll have to go and read it. You'll have to go and read it.
I'm going to read that. Tell her you had a pet crocodile or something.
See, like Dave Allen, where we'll never find out. You just tell a different story every time.
Professional. Be like a list of questions, and he started talking about being bald, and Andy always manages to bring Terry Nutkins in.
Yeah. And renowned racist Hulk Hogan has a Terry Nutkins style hairdo, so I guess that could move us into wrestling. He wore yellow. North have been braced yellow
100%.
in a different way than that racist fella. Yeah,
you are indeed. Yeah.
I mean,
I do love the yellow. It stands out. It really stands out. The yellow on the ropes and the everything. It really does give a sense of identity, and it really stands out. I love that.
And as a Wolves fan, I greatly appreciate it because it's got the gold and the black. So, yeah.
We're more yellow. I'm a Newcastle fan.
More yellow.
Yeah, it is.
No, we're football neutral actually, because we're
that's fine.
From such Newcastle and Sunderland is so fierce up here.
It can cause division.
And we have a lot of fans from Sunderland around the northeast and things like that. We've lent into it a bit over the years, but it was like it wasn't worth it. It wasn't.
I've been married to a Geordie for 10 years now. And I've heard it all. I've heard all of it. Yeah. While we're talking about like the identity of North, you do have a really strong sort of visual identity.
Yeah. It's something that I'm really sad about.
Okay, is that deliberate then? Is that something? Was that one of the goals?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a graphic designer, like by trade, or I was for a bit. I kind of do it a little bit. I'm doing a bit of everything at the minute, but the branding, like I love branding. I love creating brands, and it's something that I did as a job, and just absolutely loved. So when I came to do my own promotion, this was like 10 years ago. I wasn't as good a graphic designer then. Actually, the wrestling kind of got me into graphic design. I was like kind of starting at that stage. I'd changed careers, and branding to me was massively, massively important. I think if you look around wrestling, you know, wrestling's like really simple when you break it down to what it is. Like, it's really complex to get it right, but actually wrestling shows in themselves can be quite simple, and we overcomplicate them most of the time, especially when we consider it as like a live show as well. But for me, the presentation of what that show is, and that brand and that identity, as a wrestling fan, and like as a fan of the business of wrestling all my life, like that was the thing I was most interested in. I knew how important it was to get that side of it right, from like the experience of being at a show had to be different, or it had to be unique, to like how we present ourselves online. Yeah, it's something that we really, really care about.
Okay, well, since this episode is going to be my first attempt at making the thumbnail graphic for it, there's a lot of pressure on now, isn't there, to make it a decent one?
That's
all right.
If you need any, don't worry.
Okay, well, I will do my best. But we will talk a bit more about the specific live show you've got coming up. But the live shows that you do, they do seem to be a very, very in the moment experience.
Yeah.
Something that you're just supposed to just lose yourself in. Is that how you book your shows? That you're telling a story there and then in that moment, rather than worrying about what's going on everywhere else?
Yeah. So, that's really interesting way of putting it. It's something that like I think we talk about like quite a lot as a team, and I've talked to other people about. Is like, because I did a bit of work for Progress for a year as well, so like kind of like managing both of those things. I'm like a massive proponent of the idea of when you come to a show, forget everything else you've seen everywhere else. Now, there's obviously, to any rule, there's an exception to it, right? So you can kind of remember when Luke Jacobs came out with the Rev Pro belt at Strong Style. Was it Strong
Progress,
Style?
yeah.
No, sorry, it was
It was the
All In.
First time it had ever been seen, hadn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know that was happening. We didn't know. He was like kind of hiding around backstage, and we were like, hey, "He's taking a while to go out here," and he darts off and then goes out, and we're looking on the monitors about. I was like, "Is that the fucking Rev Pro belt?" I was like, "Oh shit!" But it was very much and I'm kind of. I mean, I shouldn't say this on a public forum, but I'm kind of for like asking forgiveness. I think that's a better way of, like, especially if it works like that. But going back to what you're saying is like, I think it should be considered as a universe for every show that you go to, because I think it's like we have to put a show on with the idea that this is the first time anyone's seen it, whether that's on the digital platforms that we're on, or whether that's like the first time someone's come to a show. So I don't want things to be so nuanced that you can't understand them. And I think that's really important for wrestling anyway. That you should understand what you see, just like what's happening in a story just by looking at it for a couple of minutes. You should understand it. But then at the other side of it, I think like if you're pulling in something that happened in a promotion in Liverpool, say like TNT or something, there's a small, like there might be 20 odd people who know about it in the crowd, really. Like, I'm a hardcore wrestling fan, like we all are. We'll know, but there's a load of people who don't know that. So I think it's really important to then just concentrate on your own product and and understand how to tell stories in the moment as well, I think. But it's a much better experience for that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for me anyway, I do like almost like the multiverse, you know, what's canon in one maybe isn't in the other. Is that something that the wrestlers like as well? Are they, you know, do they enjoy having that sort of like something new to do, a bit more freedom? Yeah,
I would say so. I think, but again, it's like with every rule, it kind of blends into different like interpretations of it, I guess, as well. So I'd say like a good example of somebody who probably crosses across all of them is like someone like Dries, where it's just like he is kind of. I mean, Dries is Dries. Like that is his character, and it's. I wouldn't say it's the same everywhere, but and I don't mean it in that sense because it really fucking works everywhere. Like, so it's I'm not doing it down by that, but like, Dries is, and you know, he's so successful. Like in what he's done, he's kind of transcended the need for that. So he's just Dries now, and he's doing really well. But I think wrestlers like, and two in particular who are on our show who are pushed heavily is Gene Money. Like we've done different things with Gene Money. He was like it was the first time at North. Well, it might not be North, might not be the first time he did it. But his first time it came to prominence was when he did the good guy doing bad guy stuff. So he was a heel. But he was a good guy playing a heel to get better. And I think, like, he does that really well across different promotions where he's got his own thing. And that, for him, has worked. Like, that's the best thing about Gene Money in some ways, is, like, you get to see a different Gene Money every time you go, but it's Gene Money. But then on the flip side, you've got someone like Leon Slater, who is, like, the best. Like, I can't speak highly enough of Leon Slater, but when you come to North, he's a heel and he gets fucking booed out of the building, and I love that. Like, I think I love doing like where people are zigging, try and zag. I guess like I think it's a good way to be.
Do you encourage your wrestlers to do that? They like take some risks, creatively speaking, when they're in North.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I think we're quite whilst we've got a really clear vision of what we want. I think we're quite open with how we do it. And I think we try and give as much. There's probably some wrestler watching this going, no, he fucking doesn't. Like, he's a dictator.
Get in touch, tell us, we'll do a reaction video.
Yeah.
Call him out.
Great for the shorts, that, yeah.
Yeah. Let's do a shoot video. But no, I think we try. We have an idea of the story we want to tell, and we have a framework that we want to tell it by, which crosses across social media, crosses across shows, and that's what we kind of control and kind of how we want things to go, but we try and be as collaborative as we possibly can, because I think that's where the magic happens. Like, I don't know their characters better than they do. We know the story we want to tell, and then we put people into those stories as best we can. The magic happens when they take that story and they turn it into something where I'm like, I didn't think that was going to be the way that we played this. That's great. And I think, you know, honestly, nearly every time you see somebody doing that, it is better because it's more organic and it's like it's exciting for us.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's great when you see some of the like we go to a lot of different promotions, independent promotions across the country, and it's great when you do see them in different promotions. And like Tate Mayfair's is a good example, really, because he was almost like a good guy in Progress for a while there, but at the same time, a couple of weeks later, he's in TNT being the fucking shitty heel that he is, you know. So, but he's still the exact same character, if that makes sense. You know, there's not really much change. Yeah, it's only slight changes when you see these things. It's great to see like the fact that these guys are so good at doing this. It's great. I love it.
It rings true as well. Just Cara Noir is another one, because not only in Progress he's adored, like, and rightfully so, like, with just his presentation and his. I don't like using the word aura, but Cara does have it. Like that word's been killed for me, but the only way, like, Cara is one of the few who actually has it, like, in its truest sense. But then you go to Riot Cabaret, and he's still this same character, still playing the same role, but he's being booed out of the building. It's quite extraordinary, like how like the people who, you know, there's just like little subtleties that maybe in just their facial expressions, or maybe in the way they move, or how they maybe interact with the crowd, and it just tweaks things a little bit that makes them go immediately, yes, I'm going to boo this person, to either or the other, or on the flip side, cheer them. So it's quite bizarre.
My favourite example of that is someone that you've had in North, Simon Miller.
I knew you were going to say that.
Is I will bang the Simon is a bad boy drum until the day I die. He is usually a good boy, lovable, goofy, bald a-hole. Yeah. If you've seen him in UPW down south in like Weymouth, Yeovil, he is a bad lad. Moneymaker Simon Miller.
I've heard really good things
Simon
about
is
as well.
Simon Miller is a natural heel. I will die on that hill that he is not a good guy. He was also a heel, I think, in his feud with Joe Hendry in TNA when they, Impact as it was at the time when they came over.
Yes, that's true. Actually,
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Simon Miller's got you fooled. You watch him. You just stay awake if he comes back
like
north.
another good example as well from the last couple of weeks were. Lycos, I was at the Infinite Promotions the other week, and Lycos were heels, whereas at Progress they were clearly the faces, and they won that match fair and square. So, it's
Sunshine Machine till the day I die. All right.
It's an in-joke that we've got going on.
It's them being delusional, thinking Lycos are good boys.
Oh no,
but...
they're not. They never will be.
Oh no!
Don't ever think that they are.
Don't cut that out, Dan.
Do not cut that out, Dan. Don't you dare! I will join Wrestle Talk. Don't test me. All right. But Gene Money is the one that you mentioned.
I love him.
He's
phenomenal.
He's so funny everywhere, but I think people underestimate him a little bit. Maybe
it's a weird one because I think in the circles that I know, nobody underestimates him at all. But then you speak to some people, and I think it's more of your casual fan who, because it. Yeah. But the weird thing about that is the casual fan fucking loves Gene Money. The amount of people who come to a North show for the first time, or when I was at Progress, same thing, where we would hear, I brought my friend along. I was like, don't tell me their favourite was Gene Money. Yeah, how do you know? I was like, because he's the fucking best at that. Like, he is the best at transcending what wrestling is, I think, and going like his presentation. His influences are like Vic and Bob, and like that. That's where he's coming from, and it really shows. But the great thing again, and this is zigging where you zag is like at North, he's revered as like #1 contender. He's like he's not underestimated at all, and the whole story has been that really is him kind of can he overcome someone like Leon, who I will say, and I've said this to Gene as well, is like Leon's best for North, like staying. I don't want to say he's best for business, but like staying champion is absolutely like he's been unbelievable for us, like just phenomenal. And the day that I can't book him is going to be like a genuinely really sad day. We've done the documentary about him and all this type of stuff. And it's just like he's just that kid, man. He's like I get teary-eyed thinking about him. He's so good. But Gene's right on his heels, and like he can go. Like that's the thing, and he can really back it up.
Yeah, the fans of the North fans anyway have just sort of demanded Gene Money be appreciated, haven't they? It's like no, this is our guy.
100%. It's called Thunderstruck apparently now.
Yeah, Thunderstruck is now Thunderstruck. Yeah. Talking about Leon Slater, I guess like he's TNA, but the work they're doing with WWE, I suppose the day might come when you can't. Yeah. You can't get. You've got a few from TNA, haven't you? You've got a couple of knockouts as well at the show.
Yeah,
I think
Harley and Myla Grace. They're making their debuts as well, which is it's one of those things where it's like it's mad.
I saw both of them at Eve just last weekend.
They're brilliant. I've seen Harley Hudson a few times. She's excellent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, real big fan. It's just a shame I'm not a fan of TNA.
Yeah, it's mad when we realise we haven't booked them before, and it's like it's just you can't get around to everybody. So it's nice that we've got the opportunity to get them in because they're just great, and they're just just more of the amazing crop of British wrestlers. I think that's the.
There's so many, isn't there? It's incredible at the moment. Yeah. Like they every time I'll go to a show and there's some guys I've not seen, and they'll just blow me away, and I'm like, okay, I'm fans of these now. I'll keep a lookout for these, and it's like there always seems to be more and more, and that's the only we've had this conversation before, but it's the only positive I see with regards to all this WWE ID shite and all that, and any restrictions they may put on wrestlers going forward. Well, it is shite, you know. I'm not going to pretend it's not. Any restrictions they may put on wrestlers going forward in terms of the TNA stuff and all that is the fact that there is so many more coming through, and there's the depth of talent seems incredible at the moment. So I don't think the likes of yourself will ever be stuck of quality to fill out your shows.
I mean, that's our job though, right? So it's like with the NXT Europe stuff, like on one hand, like the heart on the gut kind of goes, oh, for fuck's sake, like really, but then the head's like, it's our job. It's our job to make people go. And I'll be really honest. It's like there will be a point with this crop who are brilliant where they'll hit a glass ceiling here. I'm quite. Don't interpret what I'm saying wrong here. We're not in a boom period with British wrestling. I don't think at all. However, the talent is the talent we have is without a doubt toe to toe with anyone else out there on the indies, any other country indie wise. They are so good.
I agree.
Yeah.
We spoke to Lycos a few months back, didn't we? Or was it a few weeks ago, whatever it was? Anyway, we spoke to Lycos, and he basically said the same as what you just said. He doesn't think it's a boom period. He thinks the talent's there, but at the time, and the way he referred to it was, he said people were gifting everything. There was gifts everywhere the next day. There was that FOMO and he said it's just not there as it was. And I think a lot of that's down to the fact that everything's so easily accessible now online, so people can watch a lot of things on Triller easy, and it's great, like, for us. But I guess for a lot of people, they maybe don't feel the need to go to as many shows as they maybe would have, and it's a little bit far to travel up, because they'll be like, oh well, I'll go to this other show and I'll watch that on Triller, kind of thing.
It's cheaper as well. I think the bottom line of it is it's cheaper, and I think unless it's your thing that you love doing, if you just love indie wrestling, just watch it on Triller or on demand or whatever it is. But it's just expensive. And we're in a corner of the country. It's hard to get here. It's hard to get out of here as well. So but listen, this happens all the time. Triller wasn't around in 2016, so it was going to the show is the better option than watching it online, because the on-demand wasn't there. The quality of the show, recordings, wasn't there. You look at the stuff that we're producing, TNT, Progress, RevPro, RevPro have upped their production substantially over the last 6 months, because they know that they have to get up there as well. But you watch it all, and it's really good stuff. I got to even a shout out to a show close to us, Wrestling in Newcastle. They put their shows out on YouTube, and the quality's really good. The lighting could be a bit better or whatever, but it's better than the stuff that was coming out in 2016 from the big promotions by a long shot. So it's really different. I think we'll work it out. It's that thing again, isn't it? It's when MySpace came around, and then when streaming came around and all that stuff, it's you hit that kind of downward curve, and it's how do we get people back to shows? It'll happen in time, whenever that is, because I feel like we're going that way anyway, where people are kind of going, actually, I want that human interaction again. I want to be there. I want to feel it. I want to smell it. I want to see it.
You can't beat the buzz. It's the feeling of being at a live show. You can't beat it. It's incredible seeing
my favourite ever shows have been indie shows. Ever since I've been going,
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't beat it. The feeling of a live show. It's completely different than watching it on TV. There's some promotions I really love, but I won't really be too fussed about watching them on TV, because for me it's all about being at the show and interacting with, and the interaction you get from the wrestlers. I mean, there's some wrestlers out there who thrive on that interaction as well. I think it was Session Moth actually who said in an interview a while back that she said, I think she was talking about the fact that she feels like maybe she won't be a TV wrestler, but she doesn't feel like that would work with the character anyway. She's an interactions person. Her whole character's about interacting with the crowd and things like that. So there's so many of them like that as well. Lana Austin's a perfect example of that. You have her in a show, the crowd, they eat it up.
Yeah, we've just had your boy Darwin over in France lobbing baguettes at the French. You don't get that on the telly. You can't get hit by a baguette watching it on Triller or or Patreon or YouTube.
That's the next step in it, when the TV start lobbing baguettes at us.
TV.
That 5D cinema or whatever it is, you'll be able to smell the baguette will come through the TV, and you'll smell deep heat, and you'll be like, right, I'm at a show now.
I'm there. Sweat lands on you, lovely. All right, well, you do have a live show coming up. It's a big one, Thunderstruck 3, which is it's a big weekend for wrestling. Sorry. It's a big weekend for wrestling, isn't it? Because we've got All In, AEW. We've got, I think, 3 different WWE events going on over there.
I don't know about that.
I mean, they've obviously seen there's some competition going. Look, it's all got very. And, they've seen North, and they've decided to... They've
counter-programming North.
Yeah, the counter-program... Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Disgraceful behaviour. Okay.
Unreal.
Tony Khan and Triple H are out to get North Wrestling.
I wish.
We'll see if we can.
I genuinely
we'll
wish.
Wouldn't that be amazing? We'll see if we can start a fight.
That'll only come when NXT Europe kicks off.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
be there.
Do you see I seen some people whinging the other day. Sorry about this. I seen some people whinging the other day on Twitter about like, oh, I hope NXT Europe does happen because I missed out on NXT UK. Good. Go to the fucking shows. If you want NXT Europe, go to the shows. They're on now in different areas in the country.
Yeah. I mean,
you'll probably see it better now.
Yeah, that is it. I think, and yeah, I think we've got to step up then as we've got to step up in whatever way that is. I think our live shows there, like our live show is just as good as any other show. I genuinely believe that. I think our on-demand stuff, you know, I think, you know, we come from a brewery as well, so people want the razzmatazz of it all. But I think, yeah, we've just got to we've got to step up in how we market ourselves, really. We've got to step up in kind of how we present it. And that's the hardest thing, is getting in front of people and going like, hey, this is a viable option, you know, like get past the fact that it's not in a massive arena. Get past that it's not glitzy, like Britain's Got Talent style cameras and all this shit. Like, but actually what's there is a hell of a lot more creativity and a hell of a lot more like soul to it. And, you know, we'll get there again. I'm sure the boom will come again. It always does.
It always does. It's peaks and troughs. It's everything. Every industry goes through the cyclical sort of ups and downs, as you say.
Yeah,
we're just going to ride it out and be at the top when we get there. That's the goal, right?
Do it the northern way. Yeah, you want to see a bloke running around with a keg at a NXT show.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't see Keg Stacker.
Keg Stacker, was it Lockie?
Well, you would. You would if it was in 2012 when they were doing that as part of the obstacle course, and they were carrying a keg to the ring and then back again, and that was a wrestling show apparently. But anyway, that's another issue for another day.
It's just a shame that there's so many fans out there who are fans of like TV wrestling, but and you know they'd love some of these shows, but because it's not got that logo on, they're not interested, or because, you know, they've been told, all these indie shows running in like bingo halls, whatever. Like, no, they're fucking not. Well, and even if they are, some of the best shows I've been to have been in fucking bingo halls, for God's sake.
I think it's a bit like music, isn't it? Some people won't go and see music or comedy unless it's like a big arena act. Like
that's a great analogy, because for me it's like a lot of openers where people would turn their nose up and be like, that's only a support band, I'll come back later. And then like 4 or 5 years down the line, when this support band's headlining a gig somewhere, people are desperate to get tickets everywhere. And that's what it's like with so many of these guys from like your promotion is like we all know Leon Slater is going to be one of the biggest stars in the world at some point, and unavailable for these shows. And people will kick themselves if they miss out the opportunity to go and watch him at your show.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
When I was a teenager, I saw Boyzone before they were big at a little club that was now turned into an old folks home, a retirement home. So, you know, you never know who you're
now
gonna.
You can see them on the other side at that same.
They'll be there, yeah.
They'll be there eventually. Yeah.
They're back there.
All comes back round.
Okay. All right, then let's talk about your show that's coming up. Tell people where and when they can see it, if they want to go and if they want to watch it, because there's a channel they can watch it.
It's this Saturday, so that's the 12th of July, and we're at the Walker Dome, which is our own little Tokyo Dome rip-off. It's like this metal dome. It's class. It's essentially a leisure centre, but we get away with it not looking like a leisure centre because it's like, I don't know what it's made out of. The first Thunderstruck we ever did, it literally started thundering, and then the roof started leaking. So it was like, whilst it was all nice. I was like, this is sick. Like, Thunderstruck is actually thundering, and then I was like, that sounds so good though. If we could stop, that would be great. So yeah, it's at the Walker Dome, which has become our kind of big show of the year. And we'll get about 600-700 people there, I think. And
nice.
Headlining with Leon Slater versus Liam Slater versus G Money.
G Money. That's a big one. That's a bit of a. Is G Money in a handicap match?
That could be a match of the year candidate.
Yeah,
well,
is G Money walking into a handicap match? Is that what's happening here?
Well, that's kind of how it's kind of led itself to be, really. So Liam is obviously Leon's coach.
Cheerleader.
Yeah, he's cheerleader, and Liam's a former North champion, so he held the belt for just over a year and dropped it to Leon.
He dropped it.
Yeah,
was it 2 years ago? Was that the first Thunderstruck?
Exactly right. Yeah, first Thunderstruck. Okay. He dropped the belt to Leon. If you haven't seen that, that's on a YouTube channel. It's like, I was watching it the other day, and I think it's like there's a lot. So we've got a documentary about that first show, and it's a lot of it's about Leon, a lot of it's about us building the show, a lot of it's about Liam. and their relationship and how we got to there. And that was quite like an emotional thing to put together anyway. There was a lot of like personal stuff for me as well. I'd lost my dad the year before, and that's when I started to do the bigger show. I thought, fuck it, we're going to do it. I watched that match back. I think it's one of the best British wrestling matches you'll ever see. Like, with the hype packages that Alex has put around it as well on that one. Like, I'll watch it back now and I get really, really misty-eyed about it. And it's like, it's this lovely little encapsulation of like, of time, a little capsule of time for us. So we're kind of, it's gone a bit full circle. Liam had set in 2025, Liam had set a challenge out. Basically, Gene pinned Leon with no ref there on our 50th show at the back end of 2024. So he's had this claim to being the champion since then, really. Liam then helped Leon overcome him in that match. Ever since then, Gene's been back on the trail to get back there. Liam basically said, hey, look, if you can pin me, then you get your shot back. You've already had your shot. Get to the back of the line otherwise. And Gene beat him. That was in the brewery a few shows ago. And then at Leeds, basically just before that, Liam was like, well, hang on. And he'd set that challenge out to a couple of people as well. He said, well, hang on. If you beat me, you get a shot, right? And this was to Kid Like Us too. If I beat you, what happens to me?
What do I get?
So all of a sudden you start to see this kind of like, I think we can all see, and I've been given assurances it's not true, but we can kind of all see Leon's ship is maybe coming in to take him away. I don't think it's too soon, but it won't be in the not too distant. It won't be in the too far in the future. So I think Liam's kind of gone, well, we want the belt to stay in our hands. We don't want the belt to stay anywhere else. I think he questions whether Gene can carry the belt as somebody who's carried the belt at North before, and it's difficult being a champion. It's difficult being in the main event every show. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's really important to the company that we have the right champion doing that. So yeah, Gene's got now like 2 uphill battles.
He's got his hands full, hasn't he?
He does.
He has. The belt's staying with us later.
Absolutely.
And obviously we'll have to point out that Leon Slater is also the TNA X Division champion.
Not yet.
The rightful.
He is though, really, because you know his feet were on the floor. His feet weren't on the floor. Sorry. His feet were on the floor. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Screwed.
A week later, he's got his shot against Moose. I just hope, because like the thing is, as like the last Thunderstruck we did, we had Dries versus Leon. And Leon won, and no one was very happy about it. And it was our big show of the year, and we went and we ended on a sad ending. And people made their feelings very clear. You know, this is the thing about wrestling. It's like, it doesn't always go the way you want it to. You kind of expect these big matches to be built up in a way where it's like, and I'm talking about Leon's X Division shot here, where I'm going to be watching it on my birthday. I'm going to stay up and watch it, and I've got a feeling that they're just going to go, nah, let's keep it on Moose. And I'm going to be gutted.
I think that as well. It's I just don't. It's mad because I
don't trust them to make any kind of logical decisions. To be honest,
I just think this again. This sorry, we'll go straight back onto your card in a second. But it's just on Leon Slater, you know, being the face of the card essentially.
Yeah.
I had a rant about this with you. I think in a healthy, wrestling environment, you in terms of TV wrestling, you want 3. If you can. You got WWE now. We were trying to stamp out all competition. They have. Everyone can see that's happening. You got AEW who are making a fight of it. TNA just don't seem to care anymore. They're happy just being the, we'll take whatever scraps we get. And I just wish, I wish someone would get TNA and be like, no, we're not going to be the feeder for you. We have Leon Slater here. He's what you would say is a franchise player in any other sport. You would build a company around that guy. Yeah. It's insane, the talent they have there.
I've never been one for, like, hyperbole over one person, because you don't know where they're going to go, you don't know what's going to happen. I would bet a lot of money on him main eventing in a WrestleMania at some point in his career.
He has to. He would have to, because it's insane.
I've never seen anyone like him.
He is, like, without, again, hyperbole on the topic of it, he is the Lionel Messi of British wrestling. Like, he is
absolutely
just...
He's head and shoulders above everyone else. And
he's 20.
A good pack and a good like a really good pack of really good wrestlers, he's just the best. And everyone says it. I've never seen anyone like 20 years old, the way he holds himself, the way he handles himself, the matches he puts on, the stuff he does, his promos, man. Like some of the promos he's done at North recently, where he's got aggressive. You're like, who is this kid, man? Where did he come from?
I love that there's no ego on the guy either, because like I've seen him at some small promotion putting people over, and it's like, you're Leon fucking Slater, and you're putting over like guys who are a lot, far less well known than you are, and people would say probably not as talented because it's Leon Slater, obviously, and he's just putting them over and no issues at all, and it's like, it's fucking brilliant. Yeah, it's going to be such a shame.
He'll hate, if he ever sees this, he'll hate the fact that we're gushing over him as well. He's the best. His family's brilliant as well. He's got a really lovely family. He's really, really grounded kid. Like I said though, and you look at, say, someone like Will Ospreay at 20. Leon's light years ahead of him at that age.
That's
nuts, Will Ospreay. What are we talking about here? Like that's insane. So yeah, he's the best.
So to have him basically as the face of this card, the champion, must be a dream come true for you, and you probably hoping secret. I don't know which way you want the match to go. Don't want to ask you, but you must secretly be hoping, oh God, if I could just keep that on Leon Slater for as long as possible.
Because I mean, I'm never going to shy away from the fact I don't think anyone involved in the match, anyone involved in North Wrestling, would have a problem with me saying, if I could just have him as North Champion for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. I wouldn't care. He's a dream. And I think that's it. And we hope that we've treated him well. We hope that we've given him the opportunities that he needed to. I think, he's had bigger platforms potentially. Certainly RevPro and Progress, things like that. But I'm hoping that he'll be able to look back at this time that he's spent with us. I'm talking about he's even gone, but in a couple of years when he's not available or whatever. I hope he looks back at it and just thinks, yeah, that was really formative. I learned a lot when I was there. I was allowed to do things, and I just hope he buys me a WrestleMania ticket front row. Yeah.
Get a freebie.
Yeah, me and Liam.
If you get a +1, just saying.
Yeah. Just
dibs.
Nosebleeds. Just I'll be going.
Freebies. Have you seen how much them bloody tickets cost? Even the nosebleeds.
I know, fuck it hell.
Yeah, that's.
I wouldn't even consider it.
Especially in a couple of years when they'll already be even higher. But but speaking of names, I noticed that Mr. Raj Desi is also appearing in Newcastle this Saturday.
He is, yes, and Mia Jordan.
That's
who
what
I
was
absolutely love.
Yeah,
I haven't seen.
Great.
Yeah, well, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Amir Jordan. It's good to see him kind of doing so well. So, what do you see Raj being with North past this day? Would you like that?
I think it's difficult with. I'd love to have him back at some point. I think we've had these big shows. We've always brought in an import. So first show we had Gangrel and Scotty Too Hotty. Second show we had Elijah, Mio Yamashita as well, and then this year it's the year of Raj Deshi, Jinder Mahal. So I don't think it probably won't be a regular thing. I wouldn't say. I think we're not in that situation. We'd love to be, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's weird because we had Tajiri booked.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, there was some. He had a fallout with a promoter that we were working with over in Italy, which probably you can find. It's on the. Tajiri wrote a blog post about it, and he's got a Substack, like a Japanese version of Substack type thing that you can subscribe.
I'll have a look at that afterwards. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you subscribe to our Patreon, I dropped it in our Patreon Discord, the English translation of it.
Yeah, you can see the documentary on there as well, can't you? I think that's available on the Patreon.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, and it's on Triller as well. So I think, the Tajiri stuff is mad, man. I don't know how much I should talk about.
Wrestling will always surprise you, won't it? Every day is something different, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's definitely days we had to start this week. We've definitely had, which I can't go too much into. I had a day where I was like, "What am I doing this for? Why do I?"
We've all had days like that. Yeah. We've all had them.
This is mad. But so Tajiri fell out with the Italian promoter, and then he wouldn't come over. He's understandably so, he wasn't going to travel 17 hours just for one match, and it was too short notice to try and get other people on board with that. And yeah, you can read about that. It was weird, right? Because he quoted me, like as the English promoter, and he copy and pasted my text that I sent to him, and I was like, oh man, like 12-year-old me would not believe that was essentially in the dirt sheets gossip with Tajiri, an Italian wrestling promoter. Like, what is going on? But yeah, so we lost Tajiri as a booking in maybe like not that long ago, maybe March,
right?
After promoting him for like 5 months. So yeah, so we had to kind of lend on some of our contacts to see who was available, and Raj was our first. I had a question about this on our Patreon. They asked us who else was in line. Honestly, it was only him, and that was like, I don't really know who else we could. We already had Paul London was kind of on the organised, and we thought about kind of just going, oh, do we just bring Paul London in as the replacement? And then we were like, no, we need someone else. Like Paul was always going to be here. But yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool thing. Like so many people are like buzzed about it as well, which I'm 40.
He's a former world WWE champion, isn't he? Sorry, world champion.
Tajiri to me was like one of the. I was like, come on, Tajiri's the man. But like, there was more
as
people.
an old ECW girl, yeah, Tajiri would pop me, but.
Yeah, but more people were hyped about Jinder, which I was like, it blew my mind. But then I was like, well, he was like champion when 20.
It's that generation probably when a lot of them were probably quite young and impressionable around the time when he was champion.
Yeah,
and I think they remember that, and I think it's probably just the surreal nature of just being close to him in a smaller venue and being
the
closer.
The end of Walker. Like, you guys have ever been Walker. It's like, it's mad. Gonna be mad seeing Jinder Mahal and Walker. Yeah, I don't know whether he knows what he's let himself in for yet.
I say we. I hate using the word we, but when actually we all went to Doncaster for the Rev Pro show to see Mercedes Moné. Yeah. So, people are willing. People will go to the shows when the time is right. And what was great as well is that Mercedes, she didn't have to. And she gets a lot of unfair shtick online just because of who she is. But she, after her match, she went around the ringside area twice and just was taking pictures and signing things and with everyone. She didn't have to do that. She did that out of her own free will, and I think that's what makes indie shows really, really memorable for a lot of the younger fans who. Years past haven't grown up with as many options as they do now, which now I think that can only be a good thing in, 10, 15 years to come.
Definitely. And I think it works for the wrestlers as well, because I think, they work the bigger shows, like working for WWE. I can imagine it becomes a slog. I imagine it becomes quite difficult. Scotty Too Hot, he was the big one for me. Like, he came to our show in the brewery and was a bit like, I'm in a brewery, I was like, don't worry, it's really good. And then it was like he had the time of his life. He had an absolute and he was traveling around with his son, who's now a wrestler, but at the time wasn't. And like he came out and did a promo, and he was like, these shows are great. We love doing these shows. They feel so much different to your big arena shows. Like, and you get big pops in big arenas. Like, of course you do, and that happens, but. Honestly, and I'll only speak from my experience, this will happen around the country as well, but in the brewery, it's so loud sometimes. It really, gets the hairs on the back of your neck going. There's, 300 people all popping in unison in, a tin brewery. It's, and the wrestlers love that. So you're right, you're dead right about indie wrestling, and I think it works on both ways, where you're able to get that feeling for it a bit more.
Definitely. Well, let's stick with the brewery theme. Tell us about this golden can. It's like a golden ticket match, isn't it? It's like Willy Wonka, but with beer. You don't have all your competitors yet, do you? There's still three to find.
I know there's 3 more to find, and who knows, there might be more. Let's see. Let's wait and see what happens on the night. But yeah, Keg Stacker is a big favourite. He was he worked in the brewery stacking kegs. And just made his way through, decided he wanted to try wrestling, and he is so over. He is so fucking over. Now, whether that's true or not, that might be a bit kayfabe, but that's the story we're going with. But he is so over. And I think he's Gene Money's favorite gimmick. Like Gene was saying to me, he's like that before. The thing was that Gene Money said it to us before he had debuted. He was like talking about his gimmick, and he was like, "Oh, I'm thinking of the name Keg Stacker," and Gene Money went, "That's my favorite gimmick I've ever heard." And it was like, yeah. So he's got this. Zeo Knox broke his arm. So Zeo Knox is one of our Tory bastards wrestlers. Boo, big heel in the company.
He's been a bad lad in this show as well.
There's always one.
Yeah,
I want to talk about that one actually after this. We'll go on to.
I think, so he's hit his arm, and he has created a golden can, a Willy Wonka style golden can Keg Stackers lock-in scramble match. So
they're just being grabbed that aren't actually meant for.
Yeah, it's definitely. Look, Keg Stacker's a leader of men. He's not necessarily an organizer. So I'm not really sure he can organise the piss up in the brewery, but he's just not responsible for what happens after or what happens when you're there. It will certainly be chaotic.
Okay. All right. Well, since we're talking about Knox, Boo, can we talk about that, Matt? Because there will come a day when I don't have a relevant T-shirt, but today is not that day. You have a special guest referee.
Oh, we do.
And you have one of my absolute favourites, Ace Matthews, who I'll show off the shirt of the day. No, I'm sorry. He sold me the shirt with a megaphone years ago now. And he assured me that if I wore this shirt, I would be Ace. I would be considered Ace. And I never, ever had to try ever again in life. I am officially Ace, and I've been coasting ever since. So, yeah, I could officially stop trying. So I love Ace Matthews.
Yeah, he's one in a million, isn't he? He's definitely one in a million.
But also very much a Benjamaniac.
Yeah,
so,
good.
Good.
Do you remember Benji from the Defiant and What Culture days, or?
Oh my God, yes, but he's now nice. He's a good. If anybody who's been watching this for a while knows, I'm a sucker for a good boy. I didn't want John Cena to turn heel. I love a good baby face.
Yeah. I mean, it's also hard to be a good baby face and a good heel because everyone's somewhere in the middle nowadays. So it's hard to really get that like proper. What's the word I'm looking for? Like proper good vibe energy behind you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, Landed Gentry.
Yeah.
Horrible, awful, terrible, disgraceful people.
Yeah.
And in the usual fashion, Knox trying to drag down anyone who wants to better themselves.
Absolutely.
So, is Benji getting a fair shot though? Come on.
Well, I think this is it, right? So your man Ace, I think sometimes you have to put people in a situation to see how they react and to see whether they are made of good moral fibre or not. And I think those three were a solid unit, unified by being bastards. Benji saw the light, and when they were him and Z were tag team champions, he wanted to go the route of being legitimate tag team champions rather than cheating, rather than using weapons, rather than all that nefarious bollocks. And Zio didn't want anything of it. They've fallen out. That leaves Ace in the middle. He's been unable to kind of pull them together. But I kind of think if there's three guys having an argument, just let them have it and see what happens. And maybe Benji will be screwed over, and if he does, he's gonna have to chalk that one up to experience. But yeah, maybe Ace will see the light too. Maybe they'll all turn back into bastards. Who knows?
No, I forbid it.
Well,
no.
Once a bastard, always a bastard, I would say.
Only for Tate Mayfairs. That only applies to Tate.
Okay, now.
Everyone else gets a redemption arc.
Yeah. Anyway. Can we not go one episode without you slagging him off? Poor fella. He's only out there trying to ban death matches.
He's lost his wife.
Hateness is hateness. No.
Come on.
Yeah.
Boo him. Boo him most vigorously.
JBL's on his tail, man. Leave him alone.
Alright. They deserve each other. Alright, what were we talking about? Oh, tag teams. You've got a tag title match as well, though, haven't you?
Yes, oh, I saw this one.
With who?
I saw this one.
With who, though?
Well,
Will Cruz, one of our absolute favourites, is off in nowhere.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you talk about people who maybe don't get the kind of appreciation they deserve. That Will Cruz is one of them for me. That guy's fucking incredible, and like I think it's good now. Recently, people are starting to actually wake up and be like, "Holy fuck, Will Cruz!" I'm seeing a lot more people in conversations about saying like, if you could bring one person to like your local promotion, who would it be? And so many people now are saying Will Cruz,
100%.
and I'm like, yes, fucking brilliant. He's great.
It's class to see him get his, like, for want of a better phrase, get his flowers. It's like it's so good. Like, he's been wrestling with us since 2018ish, I think, and yeah, he's had his ups and downs, mainly ups, but him and Rampage together are just class. Like, I've said this before, but it's like, I can't believe nobody's done a tag team like this for a long time. Like, put two of the biggest guys together, two of the biggest badasses together, and guess what? It's class. That's it. Like, it was so easy. Like, everyone just thinks they're mint.
It's a novel idea, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But,
yeah.
But who is replacing him then? Because you've got because Clint's got Trent Seven into team with him.
Knows him very well.
Do you guys know about that? It's still the thing that blows people's minds. It's in our hype video. I'll keep saying. I've said it on another podcast. I'm like, they're really brothers.
Yeah, no. That's why it's funny that like when Clint did his promo and he just said, a guy I know very well.
Yeah.
Like,
And then we've got the seven. Yeah.
And then there's so many people who don't know they're legitimate brothers.
I didn't at all.
Until just now. So you've had your mind blown.
No, they did. I think there was something on social media, and I was like, wait.
There's a picture of them as kids together.
I was like, no.
They're stuck in a hype video. And it's like,
I thought it was a kayfabe brother thing. I thought it was like Kane and Undertaker.
yeah. I mean, what do you mean kayfabe brothers? Kane and Undertaker.
I was like,
are they not real brothers?
So come on, who's defending this tag title?
I honestly
You'll have to find out.
Yeah,
You'll have to find out.
I have no idea. Rampage Brown's like keeps himself to himself. So
has he got a brother?
I don't know actually. I'm not sure.
He could bring his nan. Any member of the Brown family.
Has anyone got an Ancestry.com login? Go and find out.
Mrs. Brown's boys. There's a few of them.
No.
Oh God, no!
Oh, why did you have to bring that?
I'm glad Wrestling Mark's not here. He would have
Anyone
kicked
with
you
the
off
last
for
name
that.
Brown, get yourself to Walker.
Boys.
Anybody,
please,
the last
no.
name Brown.
I want to see a comedy Rampage Brown like Mrs. Brown's boys.
No,
With,
don't do that.
Session Moth as the mum.
Oh no.
Session Moth and Rampage Brown, Mrs. Brown's boys. There you go. That's it. Right.
Oh,
2026 is.
So you're not giving us a scoop. You're not giving us a clue as to who it's going to be.
Just give us a scoop.
It's Mrs.
2026.
It's Mrs. Brown's boys.
Session Moth.
Can't ask for
but
more of
that's
a scoop
not
than that.
this weekend, is it? That's no good to me now.
That's
I've forgotten by then.
You've cracked it.
Yeah.
All right. What have we not? Had? Oh,
Good investigative journalism.
I've actually got a list of the matches. Hold on a sec. You've got me all distracted now with Mrs. Brown.
You brought it
The
up.
next one. Well, there's another tag match.
There
The other
is.
tag
Paul
match.
London's coming over, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like, I gotta say,
The Henry Faust.
I am so excited for Paul London. Like,
Yes.
he is
He's
one
class, he's
of
class.
my favourites. But he's like one of my, and this is wrestling culture. His shoot interviews are my favourites. He comes across as, like, the best guy. Like, he comes across so good. Like, he just comes across like a normal dude. There's loads of interviews where he's just like, yeah, by the way, this thing happened in WWE when I was there, and it was fucking bullshit. And I told them, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, well, that's a dream guest to add to the list.
Yeah. Like,
God knows what he'd probably end up cracking these two.
yeah.
Obviously, I can't make it up to Newcastle at the weekend because we're in Cardiff. But I'm actually going to go and see him at the Attack show. He's on there as well on the Sunday, so I'll get to see him anyway. Yeah, so that's a cracking one.
He's just class, man. Like, he, like, genuinely, when you think of wrestlers, if I went back 10 years and went, oh, who are the wrestlers that you'd love to get on the show? Like, Tajiri would have been one of them. Genuinely, Scotty Too Hotty would have been one of them. That would have blown my mind. Gangrel as well. Like, they were all people from my childhood that I was like, they're fucking men. And Paul London, 100%. Like, when I kind of dipped out of wrestling, like early 20s and kind of got back in again, like, his Ring of Honor stuff was fucking great. Like his Hybrid Dolphins promo is something that always cracks me up with Bryan Danielson. Like, it is so funny. And, like, in terms of like underutilized or like not underutilized, but like not even really
underappreciated.
Yeah, maybe a bit underappreciated. Like because I think he's rated highly. Like I was going to say underrated, but like people do rate him. He's just mint. So to have him in the ring with Henry Faust, I know is going to be like that's going to be a really special moment because Henry's our like he's I guess he's our underdog, but he's like our homegrown guy. He used to work on the Doors back in like in the really early days when we were at the Riverside,
Did he?
like, a nightclub there. Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, he used to work on the door for us. He's done everything. Like so. This will be a really special moment. Like, I
can't wait to see it.
Can't wait. And we got Shreddy and War.
Yeah, Shreddy on the other side. Big fan of Shreddy.
Yeah.
He's monster, that fella.
Boo.
Yeah. Oh, he's great, man.
I called him a natural heel. Like, and I was
like,
he's any podcast he's on, he always mentions it as if it was a diss. I'm like, I guess it kind of is. But yeah,
he's great, Shreddy. I'm still waiting for that team up of him and Bullet at some point because the ring will just break.
Andy determined to break a ring one day with Bullet and Shreddy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's going to be a very good show.
He's with Warhorse, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm like I say, big fan of Shreddy.
I was
Paul
a big
London
fan
as
of
well.
Warhorse.
Yeah, he's gone
back when he was likable and.
Yeah, he's gone. I mean, yeah, he would have been absolutely one of your favourites. Like, but
before the unpleasantness.
Yeah, no, he's just a nihilist. I'm looking forward to seeing.
He's a man after my own heart.
Who heard you Warhorse? He has a list, I'm sure.
I love to see independent wrestlers who go full gimmick change. Like, it's a really brave choice. And like from the stuff I've
Fuego
seen,
del Sol just did, and yeah, there's been a few.
It's really difficult to get right as well, because I guess if you're trading off something, and you know people might not see all of your work all the time being an indie wrestler, to then just flip it up, it must have been a scary moment for him. But it's class. I think he's done really well.
I agree.
A real professional him as well. Like as a guy backstage, it's great to have him back. We've had him a couple of times, and he bases himself over in Liverpool. And yeah, I think I'm very much looking forward to that match. That's a match for me, that one.
Who else is your bring over dream guy other than Tajiri?
I don't know now. I think the thing is that's really difficult now, and this isn't. I mean, I'm going to turn this into a whinge. Is that AEW have pretty much hoovered up everybody, so you can't book anyone. So there's a lot of people when you look at if you look at the AEW roster, that's where the people who were and it's a purely selfish whinge, because I'm also those guys are getting they're getting a check. That's brilliant. I would so the people that if I was going to be who would I book. Number one would be Pac, because he's a Geordie.
I fucking knew you were going to say that.
I'm
yes.
And if I ever go on a podcast, I always look at the camera and go, Pac, if you're listening, please just send me your email address. We'll get this sorted. Can you imagine Pac in Newcastle? North Shore in Newcastle.
I saw him at Rev Pro defending the AEW All Atlantic title. It was then twice. So he does do indie shows.
I can't believe that back before AEW that he was in Fusion for TNT. It's just mad that I'd fallen out of wrestling for a little bit then, and I cannot believe Pac was in fucking Fusion. And I seen him at Doncaster a few times for what was it? What was the promotion that the dude was a fucking scam merchant and fucked everyone over? I seen him there. Seen him there for there a few times.
I was at that very first show back in 2005 at 1PW.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I still have the cigarette packet the Sandman signed.
That's cool.
I'd say that twat. That twat, not Sandman, the guy from 1PW, probably did so much harm to UK wrestling promoters, really, because the talent he was bringing over, and then the fact that he just stuffed so many people over towards the end. Yeah. It's a fucking joke.
I mean, well, that's it. And I think with stuff like that, it is, you can't stop anyone from doing anything. Everyone's entitled to do it. It's a free market, but at the same time, there is an element of going if I was to splurge a load of money and just lose loads of money and just pack it full of people who are, pack the card full of well-known people, it doesn't do anything for anyone, because then the expectation of an audience goes up and goes, all right, well, that's what I think. If you can do it, then everyone should be doing it. And it's well, they couldn't do it. That's the fucking point. so there's an element of trying to be responsible, as boring as that sounds. But
you'd have to put your prices up as well, I suppose, if you know. Like with the Rev Pro prices go up when Mercedes is there, understandably, they've got costs, but
pay for it, I guess. I think, going back to like booking, there's two other people I'd love to get. I would love to see the match that always gets talked about on Rio versus Natty Neidhart. Like, come on, surely we all want to see that. Like, I'd love to see that happen over here. That would be incredible. And I'd also love to book Christian. Because I am a big...
He's so fucking good.
Oh, God, you've made Andy's day.
I was always Christian over Edge as a kid. Well, as a kid, I was 20-odd, but still, I was always Christian over Edge, man. He was just brilliant.
I was a peep in TNA. And
exactly. I said that to all these guys. 100%. Christian and his peeps, Captain Charisma, that was peak.
He's class, man.
And he's brilliant now. What he's doing now is amazing too.
You talked about gimmick changes earlier. Like he's
yeah.
I was saying this the other day in our all-in preview about how every time he's on screen, like I am just hooked. Yeah. I am just captivated by what he does because he just has this. He can play any kind of character, whether it's a goofy heel, whether it's a serious heel, whether it's like a serious babyface. He's a consummate professional, like in every sense of the word. Like
100%.
He's So.
And Vince wanted
Christian Cage, and you suddenly,
my
true feelings start coming through.
Yeah, and Vince wanted to stick.
Show where we just fangirl and boy over.
And Vince wanted to stick a blue dot over his face. That's ridiculous.
But fair play to him for at the time when there not being much in the way of like other options, he said, "No, screw this. I'm going to take a bet on myself," and he did, and he proved it. And then
he was so fucking good as well. TNA was on fire at that point.
I wasn't watching WWE much, and he walked
out.
He
was great at that point.
I know.
That's what makes me so sad about TNA now, because it was so good then. Like, and you've got Leon Slater. You could have that again, but no, they don't. They're not interested.
The whole Samoa Joe thing, even like Tomko is like Christian's lackey and all that.
Yeah,
it was all done really, really well at that time, and they did. It was like an hour show, wasn't it, as well? So
it was only an hour.
It was really like it was all killer, no filler, and I think you're right with Christian taking a bet on himself. It's like I think that's what elongated his career. That's what kept him like. If he had just stayed at WWE, then he would have just.
He would have stagnated. It wouldn't have been the same.
And you can say the same with his comeback as well. When he came back after his injury, he had the option to go to WWE, but if he'd gone there, he would have been a showcase. They would have rushed into the Edge and Christian Union, and he would have just been like one of the old-timer showcases. But he's actually going to AEW, reinvented it himself in a way to where at one point he made the TNT title more important than the fucking World Championship.
I don't watch a lot of AEW, but I would always make sure that I would kind of keep up with what he was doing.
He's so good. He really is.
The stuff with Edge was great as well. Like what was it? The hug when he like.
Oh yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Broke my heart.
We'll get them. We'll have them back together, so they'll be doing another reinvention within the next 3 months, I reckon. 4 or 5, maybe max.
We'll live through our childhoods vicariously through them again.
Yeah. A question I wanted to ask, you've just reminded me, you were saying about like the TNT more important than the World Championship. You don't call your title the World Championship, do you? It's the North Championship.
It hasn't been defended outside of the UK yet, so we can't call it a World Championship. Can't do it.
See,
we cannot do it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You need to do what Tate Mayfair's did and send someone over to Uganda with it.
That's it, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's the World Championship.
Well, I won't still have it when I get back. I'll lose it instantly, but send Leon Slater over.
Well, our Ultra Violent belt has been defended in Australia and in Las Vegas as well. So that's a world title. So it was what was it? It's not like, I don't know what's the word for like pan. It's not Pan-American, but like Pan-Australian. Is that what would you call it? And we didn't quite go that far as calling it that, but that's an official world title. And I think you can only call it that until like when it's been defended elsewhere. So that's the dream one day.
It's funny. I've only just remembered we had Kid Bandit on probably 6 weeks ago, was it?
Yes.
And she was saying her favourite match, one of her favourite matches in her career was the one with Will Cruz. Yours, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's great. She's great. Yeah, she had that match was class because I think she'd done like a completely different match to what you would normally get from a Kid Bandit match, and like someone passed her this pint.
That's what she was on about, yeah.
And it was like a 13% like
Yeah.
stout or something.
It was, yeah. I don't think she, yeah.
Like she, I don't think she said it was a favourite match as in like technically, but
No.
you know, just the fun and the moment and the event and that, it was one of her favourite moments. Like, yeah.
That's really cool to hear.
Yeah, people are talking really positively about North, obviously.
Yeah.
You've got some TNA knockouts coming in as well. You've got going against North girls. You've got Emerson Jane and Rio.
And yeah, big
Emerson
beefy
J's
bitches.
brilliant.
That's what they call themselves. They call
Who
themselves.
they are
big
big,
Yeah,
beefy
they wear
bitches.
that with pride. They wear
Who
that.
I think, who were just at Eve, weren't they?
Yep.
They were indeed. Yeah, they thought they won the Eve tag titles off of Lucy Sky and Harley Hudson.
They're just they're just phenomenal. Like,
And what was it? What was it that Mike said to us about Emerson J? Oh, that's right. It was after one of the TNT shows we were chatting to her, and she's shown us a gash on her arm. It was the way Mike dropped it in, and then Dan was like, "Oh, what are you over?" And he's like, "On her arm."
On her arm.
But yeah, no,
Emerson's
it was after the
amazing.
Drew Parker match, and it was a fucking gruesome gash as well.
Yeah.
But
being mental, that stuff. Like,
Absolutely incredible darts in the face. Will there be any of that? Not appropriate for all ages at North, aren't you? You're not a.
yeah, for this show we are. I've just confirmed a couple of like youth football teams come to the show, so I hope there's no darts.
Emerson Jane, the range of Emerson Jane, though, is insane. Like to go to the kind of different styles that she can do it's incredible. Like and not just kind of do it, but be so good at both styles and stuff.
She's up and down the country. I know she trains a lot and she
Yeah.
wrestles all sorts of people, all sorts of matches. Like, yeah, she's phenomenal. And like, she's only really been wrestling with North for about 2 years. And I saw her wrestle Rio at Discovery in Edinburgh. Me and my daughter used to go up there quite often before. But she's 15 now, so it's not as cool.
It still is.
She'll come back.
She'll come back. No, she's a fan. But I remember seeing Emerson and Rio there, and I was like, genuine. And this was a show that had Scotty Too Hotty on. I think Joe Henry might have been on as well. Like some other great matches, but it was match of the night by a long shot. And you know, they're two super important people to North and for the future of North. So if we're thinking of like, what does the future look like past, you know, someone like Leon, when he inevitably leaves, you know, you've got Rio, Emerson Jane right there, like right there. It'd be interesting. I mean, they're former tag champs as well. Our belts, I hate the word intergender, doesn't exist as a thing.
But
No.
But they, yeah, our belts are non-gender specific. So, yeah, who knows where they could get to.
Emerson Jane's got to be looking at the ultraviolet though. Lou maybe should stay awake. Make sure.
She was tagging with Drew Parker the other night in France.
Yeah.
They're not enemies anymore.
Yeah.
Different universes.
Yeah, it's multiverse, Andy. Multiverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
we've covered all the matches, but oh, hang on, we've lost your sound a little bit.
There we go. It's come back. I think
It's back. There we go.
Have we covered the match? I thought was there one more.
Well, is there one more? That's what I need to ask. There's an injury. It's unsure.
Yeah,
there's a match that may or may not be happening.
Yeah, Miles Kamen versus Kemper, which is something we've built for 18 months. Miles is injured. He's not going to be. He's really badly injured. Not really badly, but he's badly injured his shoulder. Yeah, at our Leeds show, and a real shame, that one. But I've heard that Kemper's going to be at the show. I think Miles might be at the show as well. So we will see whether they interact in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Can't wait for that. Miles Kamen's quality. I've seen him a couple times over the last year. He reminds me a lot of MJF. Like I think just his mannerisms. He's a pro. I think he's got some real potential. Hope he recovers soon. Hope he's not too badly injured.
Yeah, it's a real like. I am really sad about that one. Like, we've put a lot of time, and those guys have like gone from getting an opportunity on the show to becoming one of the biggest parts of the show, and the relationship between Miles and Kemper as friends. Like, it would. I shouldn't be using it as an example, but like, it's similar to the MJF Wardlow stuff, but done better. Like, it's a way better version of it, and like. The turn when Kemper turned on and Miles came in the brewery, it honestly, that's the bit where I was saying, you know, there's just shy of like 300 people there. It was so loud, like it was so loud when we were there, and to not pay that off at Thunderstruck 3 is like it's quite sad, but we'll get there. Kemper's another one you should watch out. He's just like a legitimate giant, not in lifts, just a massive guy who does crazy stuff. I think he's one really to watch out for, because with his size and his athleticism, he'll be some like the bigger companies will be circling in no time. I have no doubt.
I seen him at an Atomic show. I think it was either earlier this year or last year, and he was fucking really good. And like you say, he's a big fucker. Like.
He's got an incredible choke slam, and that is like, I love that. That's a staple of pro wrestling. Like a good choke slam.
Okay, I think we've covered the matches, and we've just had a crack about everything else.
Everything.
I'm afraid that is tradition. We just chat.
It's nothing like chaotic pub banter. That's what we're all about. Very much just like down the pub with your mates. That's what we're all about. We're not like squeaky clean and polished, like you say. But that's what I think makes us. Yeah, I don't think we want to be like that.
We're only a year old. We'll get it.
Yeah, we've just turned a year old. So, genuinely, thank you for coming on. It's been great chatting to you. I could sit and talk to you for for ages, because you seem like a very natural fit for the podcast, to be honest.
I loved it. I had a great time.
Willing to talk bollocks with those two.
Yeah, that's the best thing, right? Like, this is the thing about wrestling. It's massively subjective, but that's why it's so great. It's shit that the subjectivity's turned into like tribalism. It should be.
Yeah, it's the worst part about it.
Yeah, it should be.
Because social media can be such a negative and toxic place, and it doesn't need to be. Because this is just this very, very silly, crazy form of entertainment, which just makes people happy, and that's all it's meant to do. 100%. And it's giving people a really good living, but it's also just creating like memories for a lot of people.
100%. It's escapism for everybody who's involved, from fan through to promoter and everyone in between. Exactly. I would say, I think it's the best form of art and expression and theatre and all of that. It's subjective. It's supposed to be like we're supposed to have different opinions on it. That's the whole point. I hate the idea that people can't just chat about it and have different opinions like you would down the pub. So so listen, it's been great speaking to you guys. I've had a blast. Thank you very much for having us on.
Well, we look forward to the show. I look forward to it. Good luck. I hope it all goes well, and we will no doubt speak again. And look forward to it.
I'll send you a link to the shows and stuff like that. And
nice one.
That would be fantastic. And we'll post everything on the socials, and we'll link to yours as well. And I will post that video, the promo video you did for the main event, which that was the one I was going to talk about. It's absolutely incredible. It's one of the best I've seen. But it starts with Liam talking about how he lost it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. Alex is a genius with that type of stuff, so it's really cool. But if you guys want a link to the show as well after, I'll sort you out with one. So.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much.